Microsoft has come a long way in providing help within the Office 97 suite. In this section, you're going to learn how to search for topics that you want to learn more about. We're also going to take a look at the contents and index features. We're going to take a look at the many faces of the assistant and how you can get a quick start outside of these videotapes. Finally, we're going to take a look at PowerPoint help on the web. Sometimes, in working with PowerPoint, you're simply going to want to search for a topic. For example, maybe you want to learn about notes pages. So, in order to search for that topic, you can go down to the assistant and double-click anywhere on the assistant. Up comes this dialog right here, saying what would you like to do? You can type in any question in an English fashion and then click search to search for information on the question that you asked. I'm going to type in, how do I work with notes pages? I can then press enter or click search. I get help on what would I like to do. It says go to where I can work on notes pages, print slides, notes, handouts, and outlines, speaker notes and handouts, create speaker notes and handouts, see what slides, notes, outlines, or handouts will look like when printed in black and white. And I can even see more topics if I'd like. What I want to do is I want to learn how to create speaker notes and handouts. So I'm going to click this button right here to get help on the question that I typed. And here I get an explanation of creating speaker notes and handouts. And I'm asked specifically what I want to do. Type notes while working on a presentation, add, change, or delete items, create handouts, or send my notes, handouts, or outline to Microsoft Word. I want to type notes while I'm working on a presentation. So I'm going to click this button right here. What I get is some help on how to actually type notes while working on my slides. We already learned this. It says on the view menu, click Notes Pages. Then click the Notes box and enter your notes, and it goes on and gives me other information. I can actually come up to the View menu and select Notes Pages, or I could select Speaker Notes as we did earlier, and if I select Notes Pages as suggested here, I can follow along with all of the steps, changing the zoom and so forth. The point is that help remains on top as I work with the PowerPoint application. Makes it very easy for me to learn about new features and walk through them with all the information I need right over here to the right. I can move this window, of course, wherever I'd like. At other times, I'm going to want to look at a table of contents rather than typing in a question. So I'm going to click Help Topics. And here I get a contents. This is kind of like a book. So you can see these various books that are available to me. I can scroll through and find what I'd like. For example, I might want to know how to work with presentations on intranets or the internet. I'm going to double click on that book and I get subtopics, presentations on the internet, create a presentation to use on the internet, and so forth. If I double click one of these question mark items rather than a book, when I double click, I get help specifically on the item that I selected. So I can go into Help Topics at any time and look at the table of contents, which is like a book, or else Index, where I can type in something, for example, Notes Pages, and then select an item. For example, moving between slides in Notes Page View. I get the topics found on that item, and then I can select, for example, Look at Next Slide to get help at looking at the next slide. Now that you've seen